Welcome back to JT on the Go. If you are new, consider subscribing if you haven't. Today we are about to board the Grand Canyon Railway from Williams, Arizona to the Grand Canyon and back. So let's climb aboard this beauty. Our journey starts in Williams, Arizona, located 33 miles west of Flagstaff, 63.2 miles northwest of Sedona, and 54.5 miles south of the Grand Canyon. Williams is known as the gateway to the Grand Canyon. You can get there by driving. It takes 57 minutes, just under an hour from Williams. Alternatively, you can do what we're doing. Take the Grand Canyon Railway tourist train, which is why we're here in the small town of Williams. As you can see in the aerial shots, on the right are the rolling stock of the Grand Canyon Railway. They will be shunted at the station in a couple of hours. A full round trip on the Grand Canyon takes about 4 hours and 30 minutes. This is longer than driving, but the experience is fun and worth it. What we see down there is the Wild West Show stage. They perform while preparing the train and reversing it into the station. They also close a section of Route 66 in downtown Williams at 7 o'clock p.m. for another Wild West show. Alright, now let's go see the station. There is plenty of parking by the station. If you're not an early bird, there's the Grand Canyon Railway and Hotel located right next to the station. There's only one train a day that leaves for the Grand Canyon. It always departs in the morning. The goal is to leave Williams in the morning, arrive at the Grand Canyon by noon, stay there for a bit, and then return here in the afternoon. The first thing to do before relaxing until the train arrives is to go to the desk and collect your paper tickets if you booked online. I highly recommend to buy tickets online on the Grand Canyon Railway's official website. This is where you'll retrieve them. You can't travel anywhere by train from here except to the Grand Canyon. All of the space is essentially a gift shop with Grand Canyon or Grand Canyon Railway themed items. They do have cafes if you're thirsty or hungry. To the left of the ticket counter, they have restrooms. The train will also have them. The Grand Canyon Railway Central Depot was built in 1908, after the rail line to the Grand Canyon was completed in 1901. They do put on little music shows to keep people entertained. Everyone is heading to get a seat for the Wild West show. We'll do the same. The show is entertaining and plays a part of the experience start to finish. With that out of the way, here's our train. There were options for coach class or first class. We're in first class to experience the rear of the train. Our car is at the very back of the train. And the best part about it is that it has a patio overlooking the tracks. Alright, it's time to board. It's just a bunch of couches. They also have some morning snacks out for anyone to take. The true first class experience on the rails. Just like that, we're now leaving the town of Williams and beginning our trip to the Grand Canyon. The best times to ride this train to and from the Grand Canyon are in the spring between March and May and in the fall between September and November. We rode this in September of 2024. I don't recommend the summer because Arizona is a nightmare in the summer due to the extreme heat the state gets from being in a desert. We are currently making the turn to head north toward the Grand Canyon. With this turning view, we see the two EMD F40PHs hauling our train to the Grand Canyon and back. I don't know what the heck happened, but I somehow lost the audio to most of these clips I filmed. Fun fact, there are actually HO scale models of Grand Canyon Railway F40s that you can get on Amazon Prime. The journey is pretty scenic. In some parts we will find trees, and we will be passing through lifeless flat plains with very few plants that look like a wasteland, and we'll go through a very forested area when getting close to the Grand Canyon. The line to the Grand Canyon from Williams is 64 miles. The Grand Canyon Railway was added to the National Register of Historic Places because of its importance. Now the fastest way to get to the Grand Canyon from Williams is by car. Though this dome never had its windows cleaned lately, with the first class ticket you can access the two cars in the back of the train. One has a dome that gives you a 360-degree view, while the other has an outdoor viewing platform. Time to check out the bathroom. This really does look like a luxury train bathroom. Impressive knobs and faucet for the sink. There's the soap right there. Fantastic bathroom. Here we have some pictures, and the one on the left is of the Grand Canyon Railway's only steam locomotive that it runs on special occasions between March and October on Saturdays called Steam Saturdays, and also on selected holidays throughout the year. I do apologize that you can't hear any audio, but because the tracks are not as refurbished as other rail lines, the noise of the clickety-clacks is very loud. Here's the best spot on the whole train. People come out here occasionally for videos and pictures. I was out here a lot. At both ends of the car are couches. Above, there are places to store backpacks if you brought one. In the middle of the coach is the bathroom and the bar that serves both alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. The bar also has small snacks too. This was unexpected. This is the North Pole. It's not Christmas time. Fantastic scenery. One small detail. If you get unbalanced out on the viewing platform, there are handlebars on the ceiling that you can hold on to keep balanced.
The parlor car is a pretty unique spot, even in this outdoor area. But it is hot outside, so I can see why people are indoors.
What we see over there is an abandoned ranch. They kept horses in ranches like that so they could feed and rest before the next leg. There is a photographer on board taking pictures at the back.
Okay, it is very hot out here and this is making me thirsty. Let's go inside and get something to drink.
For me, I got a Sprite. They have sodas, water, coffee, and orange juice. All alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks from here are included with your first class ticket. I also found a Chex Mix type of snack they just added on the snack table. Another ranch. The car at the very back of the train is called the parlor car. Traveling in the parlor car just gives you that experience that only the rich got to do when rail travel was popular. The cost to be in the parlor car is $239.98 per person. You also have to be 16 or over to be in here due to the fact that they serve alcohol. This is why you wouldn't see any children or families in the car. Just adults or couples relax here in the parlor car. Luckily for me, I'm old enough to be in here. In fact, I was the youngest person in the parlor car this trip. As you can see up there, our F-40s are blasting large amounts of exhaust to make this climb. One thing I forgot to mention was that from the viewing area of the parlor car, you can get a view of the entire train from the side. Be aware of your surroundings when sticking your head to the side of the train. On busier lines, it's definitely not recommended because if you stick out on the side, you could get hit by a tree the train passes, or even worse, another train traveling in the opposite direction. Part of the journey to the Grand Canyon is climbing a hill or two. Now the scenery is kinda going back to what we saw when getting away from Williams. It has a rocky feel even though Arizona is not part of the Rocky Mountains. We just finished going through a wide open desert, the type of landscape I thought of when thinking about Arizona. The name Williams Flyer is the name of this train. Gee, I don't know what those ruins were. Now we're in the forests. If you see this type of scenery on the Grand Canyon Railway, this means the train is closing in on the Grand Canyon. Some old rails were left on the side of the tracks collecting rust. We're in the Kaibab National Forest, which is the forest on the south end of the Grand Canyon. The station the train will pull into is right in the heart of the tourist attractions on the Grand Canyon South Rim, unless you have purchased a bus tour. If you drove to the Grand Canyon, you could explore more areas of the Grand Canyon, but when arriving on the train, you won't have enough time to go out to the farther areas on the South Rim. The station is at the Grand Canyon Village. We've been slowing down to make a few turns. The Grand Canyon Village itself was built around the station. The train got here before the Grand Canyon Village did. Here goes another Wild West vibe.
Go Saints until they play Packers. Keep going!
Man, people do live out in the middle of nowhere in points the train passes without stopping. And some crossings are just a crossbuck, which gives little to no warning of an oncoming train. When driving, I recommend stopping, looking, and listening at crossings like that. That train horn means we're pulling into the Grand Canyon. Crossings on busy roads look like this, with gates, lights, and bells. Before pulling into the village, the train needs to turn around to have the locomotives facing the direction we came from in order to take us back. This is because the Grand Canyon Village Station is a dead-end station. Look over there, that's the Grand Canyon just down the street. The conductor has given us permission to signal the driver when he can reverse. It's time to give him that signal.
Good job.
If you want to know how he turned around, look on the bottom right of the screen on the Google Maps recording. We came from the left and went into this mini terminus and entered the Grand Canyon Village Railway Station in reverse. Alright, that's the station up there. The train will be here for 3.5 hours, which gives people some time to see the Grand Canyon if they aren't coming back here by car. Those buses over there are for that bus tour I was talking about earlier. If you haven't purchased the bus tour, I recommend staying in the village and not walking too far away. I split this video into 2 parts for my subscribers' convenience. Because the train is so long and there's a place for people to cross the tracks at the station, the train was decoupled in half, allowing for the crossing at the station to be opened so people can get around the train easier and go see the Grand Canyon. The main attraction is right up there. Great day to be out here. Here's the Grand Canyon. Don't worry, in the future there is another video about me exploring it. We spent our time around the village and ate lunch for those 3 hours and then prepared for our return trip back to Williams. The departure from the Grand Canyon Village will be featured first in the next episode.